But welcome. My name is Annie Courto. I'm a dietitian with OnPoint Nutrition. We are a virtual nutrition and weight loss company. I have my coworker Kate with me today also.
Hi.
So welcome. Thanks for joining us. So today we're going to be talking about some quick, easy tips on how to meal prep. So meal prep is important because many of us lead really busy lives, which makes it seem almost impossible to eat healthy. We often resort to going to the vending machine or ordering pizza, ordering takeout, which isn't always the best options. So what can be a lifesaver is meal prep. So meal prep can seem a little overwhelming, seems like a lot of work, we have to buy a lot of stuff, do a lot of cooking, but it doesn't have to be that way. So there's a few simple tips that we're going to go over with you today that can make meal prep a lot easier for you and in turn make your lifestyles a little bit healthier. So started off, the first step is to buy containers. So ideally a good container is going to be like a bento box style container. I don't have one to show you, but what they're going to look like is like one container with different sections. That way you can put different food groups in their different compartments. You can put protein in one, vegetables in one, starch in another. So you can kind of keep them separated, or you can mix them all together, but that way it's easy for storage. Or you can, any type of like Tupperware container would work. Kate, do you have any that you really like to use?
Yeah, I have some glass containers that have a spill-proof and side-locking lids, and they're really good for like soups and stews and chilies, something with a sauce to make sure that it doesn't spill in your bag. And then you can also put them in the microwave to heat up your meal, and also put them in the dishwasher so it's easy cleanup and preparation too.
Okay. So that's step one, buy containers.
Step two, plan out your food. So think about what you might want to eat during the week for lunches or for dinner, even breakfast, and make a list, maybe assign meals to each day, and then make a grocery list based off of your meals. And maybe for the week, a good place to start would be like 2 to 3 protein options, 2 to 3 starch, 2 to 3 veggies, and try to choose things like lean turkey, chicken and fish, those lean meats, also a variety of vegetables and whole grains. So look for starches like quinoa, brown rice, and sweet potatoes, which are going to be, all of these foods are easy to prep for the week.
Yeah, what I usually do is I'll either pick like tofu, chicken, ground turkey, and then I'll pick 3 of my favorite vegetables, 2 or 3 of my favorite starches, and you can make big batches of them and then alternate them throughout the day, throughout the meal, so then you feel like you're not getting bored. There's more of a variety throughout your meals.
Yeah.
So once you've planned what you're going to buy, then it's time to buy the food. So going to the grocery store is not easy for everyone. If we don't have time to make healthy food choices, then we probably don't have time to go to the grocery store. But that's not an excuse, because one of our favorite ways to get our food when we're in a time crunch is meal delivery services or grocery delivery services. Ones that we like to use are Whole Foods, and if you have a Whole Foods near you, your first delivery is free. You still have to pay for your food, obviously, but there's no delivery fee. There's also Amazon Fresh and Fresh Direct. So instead of wasting your time at the grocery store, you can just order it home. You can set a time when it's going to be delivered, so it's very convenient for you to get your food.
Another thing too with that is if you're not going to the store and spending a lot of time, you're less likely to buy things that aren't on your list too. So using a grocery service would be good because you're really only getting the things that you need.
You're not tempted by all the goodies you see in the aisles.
Yeah. And after you have bought your food, your next part of your plan is to get cooking. So a lot of times you want to set your oven to about 350 degrees. Obviously it depends on, you know, the type of oven that you have. And then usually you'll want to check your food after 30 minutes and flip it or move it around, you know, based off of how it's cooking to get it even. And then probably check it every 10 minutes until it's cooked. That goes for your meats as well as your vegetables and your starches. A lot of times your vegetables can be cooked to your liking. So whether you like them really well done or if you like them a little bit less, you can control that. And also your chicken and meats should be cooked to about 165 degrees internally. So just pay attention to that.
Right. And someone asked a question about frozen vegetables. Frozen vegetables are totally fine. You can even just pull them out of the freezer, put them on a baking sheet as well. I do that a lot because that saves me time. You can bake them just like you would a fresh vegetable as well. Things that are good baked, like we were just talking about in the oven, chicken, carrots, sweet potatoes, broccoli, asparagus, turnips. Do you have any like favorite vegetables that you like to bake?
Yeah.
Or favorite foods?
Brussels sprouts, especially beets, eggplant, cabbage, all the different squashes. So butternut, spaghetti squash, zucchini, onions and peppers, delicious. Mushrooms, kale, roasted garlic, and tomatoes.
Okay.
They'll all do really well in the oven.
So what you want to do is you're going to cook these things in bulk. So you'd get a bunch of chicken, enough to like last for like 4 or 5 meals, a bunch of vegetables. You're going to bake them all at the same time, and then you're going to portion them out in your containers, in your bento boxes, so you have meals ready to go for the week. Another tip for meal prepping is going to be storing our food. So do you have any tips on how to store your food? I know you do a lot of meal prepping.
As far as storing foods that you've already cooked, you can store them in the type of containers that we had talked about, whether it be like the spill-proof lids or in your bento boxes, all planned out for the week. And then also you can salvage things that are going bad. So if your bananas are starting to brown or berries are starting to kind of go bad, you can put them right in a freezer bag and then save them for later. You can pre-prep like smoothie packs. You can make, put a banana with some berries and have like a smoothie ready to go, where you would just add liquid.
Right.
A lot of times you can also do peppers and then you can use them in a stir fry later. So salvaging some of the food that you have that's starting to go bad is good. You can freeze those things. Also, instead of throwing away maybe like that half of an avocado that you didn't eat or half of a banana that you didn't eat, you can store those things easily. So for an avocado, you could squeeze some lemon juice on it if you wanted, and then you could leave the pit in there and cover it with some plastic and put it in the fridge, and it'll keep for a couple days, kind of retain that freshness. And another thing you could do is pair it with onions in a container and store it that way. And then also, I had talked about bananas. You can also do melons and the citrus fruits, and you can keep them right in their skin and tightly wrap those in plastic wrap to help contain their freshness too. So you'll also be saving a lot of your food that could go bad.
Right. A lot of my favorite things are those vegetable savers. I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the store those like vegetable and fruit shaped containers. Those are perfect for storing fruits and vegetables. You can, all those cooked vegetables that you just cooked up, you can store them in an airtight container or a bag. If you bought like a big thing of lettuce, if you wanted to make salad for the week, all you do is store them in like a damp paper towel. If you have any like fresh herbs, what you want to do is you're going to put the stems in water and lightly cover the top of them. And that way they're going to stay fresher a little bit longer. So some tips on how to make your food last a little bit longer, how to store some stuff. So after we've talked a lot about meal prepping, a lot about how to cook some things, so now we're going to go over some recipes that we really like to do when we're meal prepping. My favorite is a roasted vegetable prep. So I take a bunch of my favorite vegetables. I do carrots, sweet potatoes, baby potatoes, a bell pepper, a few cloves of garlic, cherry tomatoes, and some onion. I just drizzle it with some olive oil, around 2 tablespoons, and then any type of seasoning you like. So I like to do rosemary, sea salt, a little pepper, a little extra garlic. I really like garlic. And then you're just going to throw that in the oven at around like 375, 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. You do want to stir it halfway in between. If you like them not as crispy, I like my vegetables really crispy. You can cook it for a little less, but however you like them cooked to your preference. With vegetables, there's no minimum internal temperature you have to get them, like with protein. Do you have any favorite vegetable or favorite meals?
Another good one is our one-pot meals. A lot of our clients do really well with one-pot meals, and it's good because you can pack up the leftovers and save it for lunch and dinner. And a good one is a chicken quinoa mushroom and spinach dish, where you probably have a lot of those things at your house already, like chicken, variety of herbs and spices like rosemary, paprika, olive oil, onion, mushrooms. Quinoa low-fat chicken or vegetable broth and spinach.
Mhm.
And you can do it, you know, kind of step by step, where you brown your onions first and your garlic, and then kind of cook your vegetables a little bit before adding the quinoa and the chicken into the liquid. And it's something that you have easy cleanup with the pot, just one pot, and can put into containers for lunch and dinner for the week. So
Right.
that's a really good one. And you can, if you don't like mushrooms, you can substitute it out with a different vegetable and can kind of edit those the way that you like them too.
I like to do one pot meals on a Saturday or Sunday when I don't have a lot to do. Get it all together, make a huge pot, and then I've got lunch, I've got dinner for the rest of the week. So we've got a question on advice on what to pair avocados with and why they are healthy. So avocados can be paired with almost anything. I love to put some mashed avocado on toast in the morning. I like to throw it in salads. I will put it on a sandwich. It's really good as a spread on sandwiches. And it's a good alternative for some unhealthier fats like butter, mayonnaise, typical spreads on like bread and sandwiches. And the reason avocado is healthy because it's a really good source of unsaturated fatty acids. So the unsaturated fats are the types of fats that we want to be increasing in our diet. We want to eliminate the saturated fats, like things in butter, animal fats. Saturated fats are the type of fats that build up on our arteries and can increase our risk for heart disease. But those unsaturated fats, like we find in avocado, help promote heart health. So they're the fats that we want to be getting in our diet.
Yeah, you can add avocado to your smoothie too to make it nice and creamy. And a lot of times people will mix like avocado with cucumber and chickpeas. You can make a nice, healthy, fresh salad too. So they're really great.
Is there any other questions? That was a great one. And we'll keep some questions coming. I'm just going to reiterate kind of what we went over today. I know that most of us lead really busy lifestyles, making it very hard to eat healthy. But if you do some meal prep, that can make things a lot easier for you. Take some time on a Saturday or Sunday, do a one-pot meal, order your groceries online, and try to cook in bulk, set it aside for the week, and that can kind of make things a little bit easier for you. All right, so another question, what about the controversy with whole wheat versus organic whole wheat? So in terms of nutrition, whole wheat versus organic whole wheat, it's not going to very differ nutritionally. What's going to really change with those is the sustainability of them. So it's nutritionally, a whole wheat product is always going to be a whole wheat product. They're both going to be healthy if it's organic versus not organic. It's just how it's grown. If environmentally it's going to be better if it's organic, it's going to be more sustainable. But nutritionally wise, not so much.
Said also versus Ezekiel bread. So a bread like Ezekiel brand is a sprouted grain. So it contains the whole grain, and a lot of times is more nutritious than just a regular wheat flour processed bread. It's less processed. So it could be better for you nutritionally, but when you really break it down, you know, it's still
whole wheat bread and Ezekiel bread are both going to be good for you. What you want to avoid is any kind of white breads. A good way to tell if what your bread is an actual whole grain product is you want to look at the nutrition facts label, and whole wheat or whole grain needs to be the first ingredient listed, because ingredients are listed in terms of their predominance in the product. So if you have a bread that it looks like a brown bread, but whole wheat or whole grains listed at the very end of it, that means they probably just added it in at the end and it's not very predominant in the product. So if it's really a whole wheat product, it's really whole grain, then it's got to be listed first. Another question about organic fruits and vegetables versus non-organic fruits and vegetables. That's the same thing kind of with the bread. So just because it's organic doesn't mean it has any more nutritional value. With the fruits and vegetables, it's going to have the same nutritional value, but with the organic, you're not going to get the pesticides. It's going to be more sustainable, more environmentally friendly. So it's really just a preference on your take on those type of issues.
A couple more questions came in about potato bread and white rice. So potato bread, kind of the same thing that you were talking about with the nutrition label. This is definitely something when you're shopping for products, especially grains, you want to check the label and find out what the first couple of ingredients are. And it can be comparable to regular wheat or any of the sprouted breads.
Mm-hmm.
Also, white rice is not, so it's the nutrition is kind of removed from it. So it's not as nutritionally good as whole grains. So not as good as brown rice as far as all of those benefits that come along with whole grains, like reducing your risk for heart disease and containing a lot of fiber and lots of vitamins and minerals. So just make sure you're reading your labels.
And then another, I guess, question. Someone read that strawberries have the most pesticides. I'm not sure. I mean, if they're non-organic strawberries, they are probably going to be grown with some pesticides, but I'm not sure if they have the most out of all of them. But if you're worried about consuming pesticides, I would definitely probably go with more of an organic fruit or vegetable. Yeah. Any other questions? So all of the information we went over today, along with the recipes, we're going to be posting on our social media at OnPoint Philly, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Everyone that's subscribed today, you'll also get an email that has all this information and the recipes as well. So look out for that. But thanks again for joining. Next week, we're also going to have a live broadcast, so make sure you tune in then as well. All right.
Bye.
Thanks.